Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Priti Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vashyadaya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Sundara, Sundarade, Jaya Radha Sundara, Sundarade, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai, Jaya Jaya Naam Sankirtan Mahayagya ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
So wonderful. Thank you, Dhruv. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please look out humble obeisances. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Dandavat Pranam.
Hari Bol.
Thank you, Dhruv Prabhu. Divya Prem Prabhu, thank you so much. So we'll have our katha from Harinaam Cintamani. We'll proceed from what we left yesterday. Yes, Maharaj, we can start.
Okay. So yeah, we continue reading from Harinaam Cintamani, and it's a chapter on Aparadha and Saruninda. So a person who criticizes a Vaishnava's birth, previous faults, the almost completely destroyed remnant of his previous faults, or his momentary lapses, is a fool who will be punished by Yamaraj. Lord Krishna will not forgive anyone who criticizes a true Vaishnava, a Vaishnava in whose mouth the glories of the holy name stay. Anyone who, turning away from Dharma, Yoga, Yagya, and the Jnana part of the Vedas, instead worships Lord Krishna's holy name is the best of persons. So we were talking about it yesterday a little bit, how it is that even though the Vaishnava or somebody may see on some faults on the Vaishnava, but it depends on the consciousness, and if these are just momentary lapses, or the consciousness of the Vaishnava is such that he, by accident, committed something wrong, but his consciousness is that he wants to get it right. He actually requests the senior Vaishnavas. He sees how he can fix his faults. Then he's not considered fallen. But the person who criticizes such a Vaishnava that, yeah, I saw he did something wrong and therefore he is fallen, then that person will suffer. No, actually, he will be considered fallen down. A pure saintly person who takes shelter of the holy name does not blaspheme the demigods or other scriptures. Whether he be a householder or a sannyasi, I yearn to attain the dust of such a saintly person's feet. A Vaishnava's level of advancement in spiritual life is determined by the extent of his attraction to the holy name. His Varnashrama status, wealth, learning, youthfulness, handsome features, bodily strength, or host of followers have no bearing on his spiritual status. Therefore, a person who takes shelter of the holy name will avoid criticizing saintly devotees. That is his nature. A true devotee takes shelter of the holy name and engages in pure devotional service. He becomes like devotional service personified. A so-called devotee who has no devotion for the Lord is a grotesque person, a monster. A person who blasphemes a saintly devotee has no status in devotional service. His offense turns him into a non-devotee. Therefore, a true devotee should avoid criticizing saintly devotees. He should be devoted to them. Association with saintly devotees and service to them are the activities of the true religion. So we see here the devotee, he is eager to serve. He is constantly engaged in devotional activities, one way or the other. And criticizing such a devotee is a great offense, actually. It's a great mistake. There is no need to ever criticize anyone. By criticizing someone, you don't get anything. You don't make the person to improve. you don't gain anything positive. The only thing which you may gain is that some people may appreciate, yeah, okay, you know so much, you are great. But this is not a great quality. So there is no need to ever criticize anyone. And what to speak of the Vaishnavas. So therefore, as Haras Thakur says, such a person will be like a grotesque person. And it's very, very low class. Even in the material, among the karmis, right? Criticizing is considered a very bad quality. So we should not be engaged in those. And as we talked about yesterday, in fact, we should develop a great fear to criticize. Especially because when we are moving around, then we are moving around the Vaishnava community. And not always we understand who is very elevated Vaishnava, what level is his what position is it, what is he, and we commit offenses. And that's very much slowing or even stopping our devotional activities. So we should not do that. As he writes, therefore a true devotee should avoid criticizing saintly devotees. He should be devoted to them. Association with saintly devotees and service to them are the activities of a true religion. So that's the whole point. Instead of criticizing, then we should engage in serving the Vaishnavas, serving the Lord. A Vaishnava should always avoid the association of ordinary people. By associating with non-devotees, one comes to criticize saintly devotees. And that's also very true. Because we were talking a little bit about association, what it means. That association has it's two kinds of association. Giving association and taking association. So when we go for preaching, we are trying to preach something to someone, then we are giving our association to them. We are trying to convince them or enthuse them in doing activities which we believe are the best way. So we are giving them our association and we are influencing them. Now, when we get association of some senior Vaishnava, then we are trying to take association. Because that Vaishnava, then he is more elevated and we try to be in his presence, we try to hear from him, and we try to apply the things, the ways, how he is preaching. But before that, then we should also understand how it is connected with the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So, therefore, we should apply both taking and giving association. So taking association from somebody who is senior, somebody who has more realization, so we can improve ourselves. Taking association for somebody then who needs it, who is junior, and who we can give, actually we can share our realizations. Now, taking association, it's naturally probably more, it's easier, it may seem. By taking association, then now we gain some knowledge. We ask, by the association, by taking it, we gain knowledge. Then we can contemplate. So Shravanam and Mananam. But only by giving association, that's the right way how we can gain realizations. So it's both parts, the taking and giving association, they are important. So learning, studying, contemplating, and then teaching it, teaching, preaching. That way, then while we contemplate, then we contemplate about now how we are going to apply what we have learned in our life. Preaching it, then we preach about how we are applying it ourselves in our life. That's the most uh, efficient or most what's the word? Share that.
Krishna.
Can Ronnie Prabhu, can we hear Maharaj?
No, Prabhu. I think the connection there is weak.
Yes, okay. Maharaj, we can't hear you for the last 2-3 minutes.
1 minute. Yes. I think the connection is still weak. So he also won't be getting any of what we are speaking.
Okay. Hare Krishna Maharaj, can you hear me? Hare Krishna.
Prabhu. I don't think so.
It is showing still connected, Maharaj.
He's shown connected, but I think it is just the connection which is there. But I'm not sure whether this the connectivity. I think it is poor. Can you let him know on any other medium if it is possible? Maybe he doesn't know.
He's trying. He said he's already got disconnected. So I've requested him to leave the group, leave and join again. Let's see.
Okay, Prabhu.
Who was doing the kirtan? Dhruv Prabhu won't be here. Maharaj is logged in from two systems.
Yes. I think Maharaj is there, but he is mute.
Not mute, but he says that the connection is not good.
No, he has joined back.
Okay.
Okay, now you can hear?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj.
All right. Okay, that's the technology, eh?
Yes.
So, okay, we continue. Now, a Vaishnava should always avoid association of ordinary people. By associating with non-devotees, one comes to criticize saintly devotees. So, now associating with non-devotees, that means that we are actually associating with them, we are taking association from them. And naturally, then their mentality and everything what they are giving out their association. So, and that way, then we will start behaving like them. We will do everything like them. And non-devotees naturally don't appreciate devotees because they don't want to do the same activities. They just don't appreciate. So as we are associating with somebody who does not appreciate devotees, then the same way we will also stop appreciating the devotees. Now, when we go for preaching, we also associate with non-devotees. But at that time, we are giving them our association to them. So we don't go with them now to a bar or not to some disco, whatever. We give them our association. We invite them to the temple. We invite them for prasad. And therefore, they can take advantage actually of our association, and they improve. They start being more inquisitive, and they can their heart becomes more purified. So these are the two kinds of association, and those are very important to understand, because this is the very crucial element in the preaching. Now, how we are going to preach to the non-devotees if we are not supposed to associate with non-devotees. When you go to work, then you have so many people there who are not devotees, right? And then what do? If you are always there and you always listen to them, and then you are taking their association, you will become like them. But if you give your association to them, you can make them more into devotees. When they see the qualities, when they see how you are very sincere and serious, then they will become more interested, and you can start to preach to them. You see, Prahlad Maharaj, among the demons, he was only one alone in Gurukula there, and he was preaching to the boys, and he made them into devotees, single-handedly, right? Because he was so convinced. There was one, I don't know where was it, but there was one person. He had some small factory, and he was a Vaishnava, and he was engaging many Vaishnavas to work. I think it was some cloth factory. So then everything was working very nicely. Everyone was coming with tilak and with dhotis. Just everything was very proper. Everything was very devotional about that. But due to some difficulty, then he had to sell the factory. And the person who bought the factory was a Muslim. So then he bought the factory, and now the employee is still there. So he makes a meeting, the first meeting. He said, so from now on, then nobody can come in dhoti and nobody can wear any tilak. So the next day, everybody comes, no, just plain clothes, no tilak. There was one person, and he comes again, dhoti, tilak, as he used to. So then the owner, the new owner, he calls the meeting again. So now I made some resolution. So I see that most of you not followed it, but this person, then he didn't follow what I said. Now I see that he is fearless. Therefore, only he can come in dhoti and tilak. Everybody else cannot wear. So we see, if you have the conviction that what you do, that's the right thing. That's the preaching already. That you go now in your work, in dhoti, no, tilak, whenever you can go, you can preach. Just by your appearance, you will already preach. We don't have to hide that we are Vaishnavas. Yes, yeah, I'm a Vaishnava. Sometimes not the devotees, they are trying to hide it, they are trying to cover the shika, and but there is really no need for that. There is no situation in which you don't have to. I mean, you have to really cover it. Okay, there are some countries where they will not probably let you in if you are dressed as a sadhu, but those are few. Most of the countries, and they let you in. And then, I know we were in Finland. We were going very Orthodox Christian university for preaching. And then just go and dhoti, chadar, tilak. If you are nicely dressed, it's the proper culture. They will not object. But that's very important. Same like when Vivekananda went to America, and he puts the suit on, and he started preaching how important it is to take the culture. But Srila Prabhupada, when he went to America, then he didn't do that. He brought the culture, the Vedic culture, into America. So that's the way of preaching. And this is what Haridas Thakur then speaks about. Association. So, now about bad association. So bad association is of two kinds. This all the scriptures say. Of these, two improper association with women is one kind of bad association. Associating with a man who is too attached to a woman is also considered a bad association. A spirit soul who avoids associating with such persons becomes fortunate. A husband and wife may stay together in Krishna conscious family life. The scriptures do not call that bad association. So that's the Grihastha ashram. That's proper. However, a person who is attached to woman in ways that break the rules of religion is wicked. That is the scripture's opinion. Wicked persons who are not devotees of Lord Krishna are of three kinds. Mayavadis, hypocrites, who wrap themselves in the flag of religion, and atheists. One should avoid the association of persons who criticize saintly devotees. Now, as we are talking about here about two kinds of association, bad association with women. So one is that a man can associate with woman, which the way which breaks the regulative principles, and that's the bad association. Another association is associating with a man who is attached to woman. Attached to woman means that the other man, he is breaking the regulative principles, and we are associating with him. So, of these two, the association with a man who is too attached to woman is worse than associating directly, with the bad way with woman. Because when the person, right, it's badly associating, then it's kind of obvious, and there is always way how it can be corrected. When a person associating with another man who is badly associating with woman, then it's more hidden, and it's very difficult to correct it. So therefore, that kind of association, it's considered as worse, because it's more it's not that obvious, but actually it's very detrimental. One should avoid the association of persons who criticize saintly devotees. Anyone who avoids these persons, chants Lord Krishna's holy name, and takes shelter of Lord Krishna and no one else, attains a great treasure of pure love for Lord Krishna. A person who has ordinary faith, who worships the deity but does not serve the saintly devotees, is a Prakriti Vaishnava, or Vaishnava Praya, almost a Vaishnava. He is a Vaishnava Abhas. He is not a perfect Vaishnava. Somehow or other, he has attained the great treasure that is association with saintly devotees. Therefore, I think of him as a Kanishta Vaishnava. By the devotee's mercy, he eventually becomes a true Vaishnava. Here, we see anybody who speaks the holy name, he is a Vaishnava. Now, at the beginning, that he is considered as a Vaishnava Praya, like almost a Vaishnava. But at that stage, the beginning stage, he does not have attachment really to the holy name. He doesn't have attachment to the devotees. He is trying to understand that, okay, I have to worship the Lord. And it's me, it's the Lord, but I don't have to concern anybody else. So he is almost Vaishnava, but his position is very unstable. Therefore, such a Vaishnava must take association of other senior Vaishnavas. He must be taking the association, so then he can come from that stage of the Kanishta Adhikari to the Madhyama Adhikari. Madhyama Adhikari, then he does not have this problem. He understands that he is trying to serve the Lord, he is trying to serve his Guru, and so does everybody else. And therefore, everybody else, they are his friends. So to associate with them, it's very easy for him. Associating by the ways which enhance the devotion. That means tarati pratigrihnati, guhyamakti prichate, bhunkte bojayate. So this is Madhyama Adhikari. And now he progresses because he is associating with the Vaishnavas. He is getting the mercy of the Vaishnavas. So he will come to the point of Shuddhanam. So, and that will become then Uttama Adhikari. Just the chanting of the holy name is everything. A person who loves Lord Krishna, makes friendship with the devotees of Lord Krishna, and avoids people who hate Lord Krishna is a Madhyama Bhakta. He is qualified to chant Lord Krishna's holy name. He becomes a Shuddha Bhakta, your devotee. A person who sees Lord Krishna everywhere, who sees that everything rests in Lord Krishna, who considers Lord Krishna the great treasure of his life, and who makes no distinction between Vaishnavas and non-Vaishnavas is an Uttama Vaishnava, advanced Vaishnava. For him, the chanting of Lord Krishna's holy name is everything. Therefore, a Madhyama Vaishnava should serve this kind of saintly devotees. A Prakriya Vaishnava or Vaishnava Praya is qualified for Nama Bhas chanting. This all the scriptures say. A Madhyama Vaishnava is qualified to properly chant the holy name, but he should take care to avoid offenses in the worship of the holy name. An Uttama Vaishnava never commits offenses, for he sees Lord Krishna glory everywhere. Each according to his own qualification, every devotee should avoid the offenses of criticizing saintly devotees. A devotee should associate with saintly devotees, serve saintly devotees, chant the holy name, and give mercy to all spirit souls. These are the activities of a devotee. So, again, here we see that what should devotee be engaged in? We should try to realize how we can serve. We are all servants. We serve the Lord, we serve the Vaishnavas, we serve the holy name, and that way, then we can realize how we can do it. We have to properly associate. So the focus should be on association, because without saintly association, without sadhu sangha, it's not possible to develop devotion. So that's why we have to very much focus on and seek the association. And when we get the association, then we should properly take advantage of it. Take association from the senior Vaishnavas, give association to those who need it, but in no case criticize anyone. We should not do that, because that way, then we will very much suffer the consequences. If one foolishly blasphemes a saintly devotee, one should repent, grasp the devotee's feet, weep and say, "O Master, please forgive my offense. Please give a Vaishnava's mercy to this wicked blasphemer." His heart melting with compassion, the saintly devotee will forgive the offense and compassionately embrace the repentant offender. Now, when we blaspheme, criticize someone, so if it is unconscious, there's nothing much we can do. If it is conscious, then we should find a way how we can overcome this, how we can fix that. We should never leave it without it. So we should go and directly apologize to the person. Now, if the person, he doesn't forgive, I cannot, it was too much. We should still look for ways how we can overcome our offense. So we should still look for how to please the devotee. It was our fault. We had done something very wrong. So we should look for ways how we can get the forgiveness of the devotee. Because in the beginning, when we commit offenses, these offenses create the anarthas, which they may not be immediately manifested, and maybe not on the gross platform. But the anarthas from Aparadha, their danger is that they will stay with us throughout the whole process. I think we were discussing that before. So the last residue of the anarthas from Aparadha, it disappears only at the time of prema, when the devotee actually achieves prema. Until then, we will be affected by our foolishness to commit Vaishnava Aparadha previously. So now we may go on, we may blossom devotees and actually not get any feeling, any bad reaction right now. But we will be very much regretting later on that we were so foolish to do something like that. Therefore, we should not leave it alone. As soon as we figure out that we have offended someone for whatever reason, we should beg for forgiveness. And get the forgiveness by any means. So try to serve, see what it is. No, we should not start thinking, well, the devotee, he's not forgiving me. So therefore, now a devotee should be forgiving, right? He's merciful. But this one, he is not. So therefore, he's not a devotee. And because he's not a devotee, then I didn't commit any offense. That's very dangerous. We should be very careful not to do that. For some reason, we have offended the devotee so much that he is not willing to forgive. But we should be determined and to beg for the forgiveness. Only in the case when we had tried everything and still it's not possible to do it. It also can be that the devotee may not be with us anymore and there is no way how we can get forgiveness. So in those cases, then we can fully take shelter of the holy name. But because we had tried everything before and there is no other option, then taking of the shelter of the holy name, Krishna, he will forgive our offense. But if we think, well, okay, I can go on offending and then after that just chant the holy name and then everything will be forgiven, then that's another aparadha. Krishna will not forgive. So let's not make these mistakes. This is very dangerous. We should be very conscious of not committing such offenses, not making such a mistakes. Yes. His heart melting with compassion, the saintly devotee will forgive the offense and compassionately embrace the repentant offender. O Lord, by your order, I place before your graceful feet this description of the first offense. May this Harinaam Cintamani become the life and soul of the devotees who are like bumblebees at Haridasa's lotus feet. Okay, so then it will end this chapter on our Aparadha. And the next chapter is on consider the name of the demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. So, are there some questions?
Yes, Maharaj will ask. Hare Krishna. Devotees, so pehla aparadha humne finish kiya hai. So does anybody has any questions before we move on to chapter second offense? Does anybody has any question? Then we can ask. One second.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Priya Mataji. Yeah,
I have a very small question. Like this first aparadha is all about criticizing. We should not criticize anybody, as you rightly mentioned. So I had just small doubt regarding what is the difference between criticizing and scolding, because many times we also get our scolding from our parents and from maybe from teachers and from elder brothers or sisters. So because they are scolding us for our good only. So like if I'm also elder sister to my two brothers, so I was thinking from that point, if I'm scolding them for any reason, that should not get converted into criticizing them at any point of time. So what is the difference between that?
Okay, now Okay, you said that you are the elder sister. Now, if you now scold your younger sister or maybe your children, why do you do that?
For their good only, so that they improve on something.
Exactly. So you are doing it for their benefit. So parents, they now, if needed, they punish, they scold their children, and they do that out of affection, so that the children don't commit the mistake again. They teach them. That's not criticizing. That's a way of one way of how we can work on improvement of a person. But if criticizing is if you go on and you discuss somebody's faults with somebody without thinking about the benefit of the person who committed the offenses, the fault. So you don't care about the person. You just show that you know. And you make the person, you put the person in a bad light. That will not improve the person's behavior. So, and this is criticizing. So if you care about the person who committed the mistake, and because of you care, you are trying to make him improve, and you may directly talk to him, you may talk to somebody else to talk to him, either way, but your consciousness is about to improve his behavior. It's not criticizing. If you are doing it to show how much you know, that you are better than him, and you don't care about the person who made the mistake, it's a criticizing. Do you understand?
Yes, probably. So it's all a matter of consciousness. By what consciousness we are saying something.
Yes, the activity may be the same. You talk to someone, but why do you talk to someone? You talk to someone because you are very concerned about the person. He did something wrong, and you are asking the person what you can do for him to improve. Or you talk to somebody, oh, look at him, he's so bad, he's doing like this, and I don't like him. No, tell others how bad he is. That's criticizing.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Well explained.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yes, Saurabh Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, in continuity of this, if it is not for improvement of that other person, but if it is for improvement of myself, in the sense, like if I am seeking guidance from a third person, and for my own sake, now what to do, but it is not for improvement of the second person. So is that also offense, or is that fine?
Now, okay, what is the participation of the second person? What did he do? He's the one who committed some mistake?
In my eyes, yes.
So you think that no, he did something wrong, and then you are discussing with the third person?
Yes.
Okay, now, so then why are you doing this? Now you think that he did something wrong, and you want to understand if he did something wrong or not.
And what next to do, how to deal with it?
Yeah.
In my own life.
So you are trying to understand it yourself, how to see the action of the second person, right? And then you are discussing with the third person. Yeah.
Yes.
So you may think, okay, he did something wrong, but okay, I'm not supposed to criticize. So let me ask somebody third one to ask what actually it is. Now with that, you should keep your mind open, because it may be wrong, may not be wrong. But it's not up to you, no, really, to make the judgment. Ask somebody who has the power. So, and then with that, when you figure out from the third person, when, okay, actually what he does is right, but you don't understand it. So then you are clear. Okay, then I can leave it. I know it's correct. In case the third person says that no, what he is doing is wrong, then what is your position? Now you know that the second person does something wrong, right? Now, if you have an influence over the person, he may be your friend, he may be your relative. It's you have the influence over him. So then you should take the influence, which is your relationship, and you should try to tell him, look, no, my friend, no, what you are doing, it's not really right. No, you should not do that. I asked somebody, and he said it's not supposed to be done like that. So please don't do it. It's not good for you. Yeah, your relatives, no, somebody you have a relationship with. So then you should. That's your duty to do that out of the relationship. If you don't have a relationship with the person, then but you are in position, say like temple authority, you're a temple manager. Somebody comes to the temple and does something wrong. So then you don't know, you ask somebody and somebody tells you, yes, what he's doing is wrong. So as a temple authority, you should step in and you should say, look, Prabhu, no, what you are doing here is not right. Please change your behavior. Don't do this. So you, with the understanding, no, you try to correct him out of power. No, you have your power. That's your also responsibility. Now, if you don't have relationship or you don't have a position to tell the person, so then you may tell somebody else who has the relationship or the position to tell the person, right? Like you go outside and then you will see somebody is doing some nonsense on the street. You don't know the person, but then no, it's wrong. So you call the police. They have the authority. They can correct the person. But if you don't have the relationship, you don't have the influence, you don't have the power, and you don't have the means not to get anybody who has, so then what will you change? Like if you see some kids outside doing some nonsense, you as an adult, you have the position. Hey, stop doing this, no, go home, no, don't do it. But if you don't have the position, then what will you do? Then what's the point? No, anything which you will do will be just criticizing. You are not going to fix anything. So you should see that to correct a person, you have either the power of the influence or the power of the position to change something, or then get somebody who has either of those two to change the person. Then you can talk about being able to change, to correct the person. Now, you can also, if you don't have anything, you don't have anyone who has the influence or the power, then you can develop that. You may come to the person and you have no relationship, but you can come to the person and you can develop the relationship. Look, Prabhu, I'm observing that what you are doing here. I don't know. I'm nobody. But I was thinking that it will be better if you do it some other way. No, just some nice way to try to be compassionate to a person, seeing that he does something wrong, to develop some relationship. So at least something you can tell him from the platform to change his behavior. No. But either of those two must be there for the person to be able to accept it. Otherwise, if you come to somebody whom you don't know, he doesn't know you, and you say, please don't do that. Who are you to tell me? No. And what will you achieve? Nothing. He will not listen to you. You have no relationship, you have no power, so then you are nobody to him. Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Maharaj, this is a little complicated because many times we feel over enthusiastic to correct others. You know, it comes very natural to us, and without having any influence or authority, we jump and we do offenses in right intention, but the result is not so right. Yes, ma'am.
So if it's done now by the way of like being emotional at the moment, so it's all right, it happens. But as soon as we figure out, okay, but actually I don't have a relationship with the person. Now I don't have the power to correct him. So we may become humble and then just tell him, please, Prabhu, I don't have anything. I don't know you much. I'm not the temple manager here. But no, what you do, it's not right. So at least you tell him, at least you do your best in the humble position to try to correct him. But if he takes it or not, no, don't be attached.
Yes, Maharaj. Maharaj, will that also work in a family relationship also? We should think the husband, wife, or the parents and kids.
Of course, but there is more the influence than the power. No?
Yes, Maharaj.
See, when you correct somebody by the way of power, then no, it's immediate, the effect is immediate, then it's working quickly, but the result is not necessarily lasting very long. If you deal with your children, look, I'm the boss, I'm the father, you listen to me, what I say. But if what you say is wrong, no, you have to speak, I said, you have to follow. Then you can only correct them as long as they have the power. But when they grow up, they say, okay, I'm not going to listen to you because what you say is nonsense. Then they will stop listening and then your authority is over. On the other hand, when you are explaining it now as a father, that you care about your children, so that's why you want them to do it the proper way. So you explain how we do. Say Guru Sadhu Shastra, you connect everything to that. You should be chanting japa every morning because it's the best for you. I believe it. So please, chant instead of forcing them. Then just encourage them. Now, chanting or reading Bhagavatam, assisting with devotees, just encouraging. It helps, and this is what they remember. And that by the influence, it takes longer time because there's a relationship. To develop the relationship takes time, and also within the relationship to actually properly convince them about that what you want them to do, that you are caring about them. That's why you are spending the time, energy, not that you are enjoying their association and that's why you are doing it. No, it's for them. So it takes a little longer time, but because it takes longer time, it has much more lasting effect. So if you properly train them, then the effect is lifelong lasting. They will remember. Now, oh, my father, when I was small, then he was telling me that I should be chanting japa, and I was chanting japa with him. And now I remember this even when I'm now grown up, and I still chant japa because I remember I enjoyed it very much, and now I am happily chanting. But if we force our children to do that, then they will likely develop this distaste for it. Oh, I have to chant. If I didn't chant, I got punished. So I'm not chanting anymore. I don't want to chant. Now I don't have to. I will not. So the correcting somebody by power, it's immediate, but it lasts only as long as you have the power, the authority. If you don't, then it's over. Influence, it's lasting forever. I mean, the lifetime.
Yes. Thank you so much, Maharaj. This very nice way you put it. Yes, the difference between power and influence and intelligence to see when to use which one. Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. Combination, right?
Yes.
In family, it's always combination.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
So you have the authority as a father, but you don't overemphasize the authority as a father. You rather deal as a friend. So when you have child and in the beginning, okay, it's authority, but when they grow up, then it's more like a friend. You have to see how to properly influence them, so then they grow up into trained children. They understand, they develop the proper values, the proper qualities. And that's through influence, not through the power. Because the power develops fear. If I don't do, I get punished. But the influence develops encouragement. If I do, I will get that. So the influence will be more on the side of always remember Krishna. Instruction. But the power, it's on the side of never forget Krishna. No, prohibition.
Oh, yes, Maharaj. It's such a wonderful way you put it across. Yes, Maharaj. So, you have a question?
Yes. Hare Krishna Maharaj, I have one more question. In one of the classes, I have heard, like in Koladvi, if you go to like ashram of Devanand Pandit, so and if you pray there and chant there, so all of our offenses are forgiven. Is that also one of the ways to overcome the first offense, or is that not like?
Yes, there are devotees who are specifically they have some qualities which through being say in the ashram, then you develop the consciousness. You have to be trying to develop in the consciousness, like you go to Puri and go to Sirabokul tree. So being of the consciousness, I would like to now think about Haridas Thakur and fully focus on the holy name as he instructs us we should do. And then you will be able to purify the consciousness and to come to the point that you'll be able to more focus on the holy name. So it's about that if you are willing to, you want to develop the consciousness. So by the mercy of the devotees, you will be able to. But if you come to a Siddhavakul tree as a tourist and then just looking for some enjoyment, you will get no taste for the holy name. So you are at the same place, maybe the same time, and the activities maybe the same externally, but your consciousness, you are thinking about something completely else than the other person. The other person gets the benefit and you don't, because you are thinking about nonsense. You can have somebody in the Western country being absorbed in the mood of Vrindavan, and the person is in Vrindavan. You may have somebody in Vrindavan doing nonsense, talking nonsense. Then the person, even though physically he may be there, but actually he's not present in the Dham. It's the consciousness. Yeah?
Yes, ma'am.
Hare Krishna.
Sometimes I would think, Maharaj, that verse that ye yatha mam prapadyante, it was, like a universal principle. Isn't it? As we deal with Krishna, the deal,
Exactly.
we get reciprocation in the.
Yeah. So all these blessings, different places in Braj, in the Dham. So these blessings are given and they are for real as long as we are endeavoring to actually receive them. If you go to the places like, okay, if you go to the around Govardhan Hill, then you will never take birth in this world of birth and death. So yes, you go to the Holy Dham, you go to Vrindavan, you go to Govardhan, you go parikrama, thinking about Krishna, and you will become Krishna conscious, and you will not take again birth. If you go to Govardhan with your girlfriend, and then you are thinking about her only, and then you are enjoying there, so what benefit do you get? You were not at Govardhan. You were somebody else. You will not get the benefit. So the benefit which is spoken that if you go to his ashram and then you're offensively forgiven, you have to pray for it. You have to accept the benefit. If you don't, it will have no effect on you.
Yes, Maharaj. It's like the story of that Pandit and the prostitute, both one going to hell and another going to heaven, because one was contemplating on the other. Yes.
Yeah.
Maharaj, Ronnie Prabhu has a question. Ronnie Prabhu, you have a question?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for today's session. I have a question that sometimes we find ourselves in a situation that the other devotee we are speaking and we two are speaking, and the other devotee starts criticizing any other person, and we find ourselves in that dialogue or situation. So how do we deal with these kind of situations, Maharaj?
See, either you can argue with the person and to convince him that he's wrong. If you understand what he's doing is criticizing, so then you argue with him and then convince him that he is wrong. He should not do that. And then if you convince him, then he will just keep quiet, and then everything will be sorted. If he does not listen to you, hey, who are you? Who are you? You are nobody. Then just you keep quiet. No, and you cannot do. You leave. Don't listen to that person. If you understand that what he is doing is criticizing, don't listen to that. Leave the place.
Okay. But sometimes it's I mean, it's only the two of us, which is not avoidable, and it becomes a little awkward. We can't even leave. We can't even stop hearing.
Then just tell him, please don't talk about it anymore. I don't want to hear it. You have to be strong a little bit.
Okay.
Because if you understand its criticism, you don't want to hear it. So, okay, look, we will talk about something else. I don't want to hear this anymore from you.
Okay.
No, otherwise, otherwise you also become part of that criticizing.
Yes, exactly.
So
Okay.
either you argue against him that what he does is wrong, and he understands and he just apologizes or just keeps quiet, or then if he does not, then say, please just don't talk about it. I don't want to hear it. And if he still says, hey, no, you have to hear this. No, okay, I'm going. And then just go. It's awkward maybe, but it's socially awkward, but at least spiritually you don't get the such a bad influence, such a bad result as being part of Vaishnava Aparadha. Then you just have to be strong enough, and maybe you have to sacrifice, maybe understand that he's not your friend anymore. That also may be a possibility. But you have to understand what's beneficial for you. So sometimes you have to be strong.
Okay, Maharaj.
It gets awkward, Maharaj, sometimes because we are all, devotees have relationships and then they feel, like you said, socially awkward. But we also have to think it is not only in our benefit, but his benefit also that he,
Yeah. So, it can be, but just say, please, okay, we have friendship. So please, I don't want to hear it what you are saying. Please don't talk about it. No, I don't want to hear it. If I'm your friend, don't talk about it.
Yes, Maharaj. We need courage, some strength to do this. Yes, Maharaj. Okay. Maharaj, one question. Ramesh Gaurang Prabhu, your question?
Yes, yes, Maharaj. Maharaj, I have one question. That there are times in situations where we wanted to understand and we go to somebody to ask some discussion about some devotee, right? We are not criticizing, but just wanted to take an opinion that if I observed something, is it okay or what is it? But then that person starts creating it that the person is criticizing it. And then the news gets floated around and then everybody thinks that who is criticizing. So what should we do in that situation?
So you come to the person with a question how to deal with some situation.
Yes.
But he takes it then further as an opportunity to criticize that he heard from you that he is like that, and therefore he carries on with the criticism. Yes?
Yes, Maharaj. So it is like this that I saw somebody that somebody is doing, and I don't know whether it is right or wrong. So I moved to another person and I asked, okay, this is what I observed. Now help me understand what should I do. And that person starts rumoring around that I was criticizing the other one. So that is the situation.
So if you know the person whom you are going to ask very well, then you can be more like informal. You can actually ask, but always mention, look, I don't want to criticize anyone. I really would like to understand the situation. And you can be more informal. You can be maybe more in details. Now, if you are asking somebody now whom you don't know properly, then you don't disclose all the details and everything. Just ask, not even names. Just ask, the situation. Is it right or wrong? And let him say, but he cannot use you as that you are the blasphemer of that person.
Okay. Thank you so much for that.
Okay. I think and the last question.
Yes, Maharaj. That we should usually go and ask a senior devotee rather than asking a friend about these things. That, if we are checking on somebody, it is better to ask somebody senior rather than at the same level, because, then
but
the senior can handle the situation.
Even if you go and ask a senior devotee, then there is no need to mention names immediately.
Yes, Maharaj. Yes.
Now, it may be that the situation is such that the devotee actually wants to help, and he needs to know more the background, the situation. So then you can disclose whatever necessary details you need for that. But it's not that you start with, oh yeah, I saw him, he's doing like that, and it's not it's not appropriate. So it's always better to be very safe, the way that we ourselves don't commit the offenses or don't give opportunity somebody else to commit the offense based on our information.
Okay, Maharaj. Maharaj, there is one more question. Should we take it or should we do it for next week?
One question, yeah.
Yes, J.K. Das Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, it is not a question, just to share while I'm reading the text that is discussed today, like verse number 78 talks about Kanishtadhikari, verse number 81 and 82 talks about Madhyamadhikari, and verse number 83 and 84 talks about Uttamadhikari. The same way in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is 11 to 45 talks about Uttamadhikari and 11 to 46 talks about Madhyamadikari, and 11 to 47 also talks about Kanishtadikari, and the content are both of the same. Just to share you, Maharaj.
Yes. Yeah.
11 to 45, 11 to 46, and 11 to 47.
Very good. Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. So the lockdown continues, and Maharaj, our session continue next week.
Yeah, it should be all right.
Yes, Maharaj. So we'll continue next week, Maharaj, from the second offense onwards. Okay. Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.